Ladies and gentlemen, this is the By the Book podcast with Mr. By the Book, Gaston LaRue. And today is our third chapter of the podcast from the Ancient Book of Wrestling, and I am Mr. By the Book, Gaston LaRue. 2 weeks ago, I introduced you to me and to the podcast. Last week, I had Justin Xavier and Party Mike of Arcade Hangover, and today I have some of my close friends, none other than the Tragedy Boys.
Woo!
The Tragedy Boys is a faction I am involved in, and today I am joined by my fellow members, Hot Percy Drews and Saturn Price. There are more members of the group, all of which I plan to have on the show at some point, but today I have these two as we're the main three who kind of represent the group on a regular basis. So I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves. Percy, go ahead and introduce yourself first. You can say how long you've been wrestling, all that good stuff.
Oh, do I have to do an introduction? I can't just say who I am and that I like wrestling so much?
Yeah, I mean, whatever your introduction.
Fine. Introductions. Gosh, it's like cutting an introduction promo that I suck at. But
yeah, you do suck at promos. That's right. That's right.
Suck at promos. I hate cutting promos. Letting everyone know.
I hate trying to get you to cut promos.
I don't cut promos.
Pull teeth than it is to get you to cut a promo.
What'd you say?
Because I feel like it's easier to pull teeth than it is to get you to cut a promo.
No, yeah, it's very, very.
Even when it's like a group promo where you just have to stand there with a hot pocket on your head.
Yeah, I look at that one too. But name is Hot Percy Drews. I am the creator of the Tragedy Boys, by the way. But been wrestling for 3 years. Been training since 2015. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I am proudly a Rockstar student of Dayton, Ohio. That does not exist anymore. But, which is actually where I met Saturn. We used to be security guards together. Great times.
Nice.
Great times. But yeah, I've been wrestling for 3 years. About to be 4 in April. And
nice.
Like I said, I don't do introductions.
Well, we'll get into a lot of how we all met after a bit. Saturn, introduce yourself a little bit.
All right, I am Mr. By the Book, Saturn Price. We're all by the book, by the way. Now, what nickname am I going with this week? I think the new one I'm trying out is Walking Calamity. Although trying to get people to remember it is like trying to get Percy to cut a promo. It's apparently fucking difficult.
I like that. By this, what name am I gonna go by this week? Like every week, he goes by a different name.
I've only had like 3. Topic to bring up later is everybody's problem with my name and how to say it or how to remember it.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. I have been wrestling for 2.5 years now. I trained for about a year at Ohio Pro Wrestling Academy out in now Columbus, Ohio. And then I met Percy while I was doing my youngest shit at Rockstar. Yeah. And then I met Gaston like 5 months into wrestling. That was December 2020?
Yeah, because you met me at an EWE show, I think, right? In Jeffersonville?
No, that's what that's right.
All right, so maybe it was like actually 2 months in. That was the same show where I reconnected with Percy.
Yeah, because I met Percy at that EWE show. I think we met at the same show.
I think so.
We all met at the same show. No, but that was the show that Gaston
wouldn't take a fucking Canadian.
Yeah, sorry. Just
he wanted
didn't want to dump myself on my head.
He wanted to do that so
and then
bad.
Percy on the pre-show did all of the moves that the champion in the main event was going to do. So he had to tell me, it was like, Percy just said all of my shit. What other moves do I have now?
Yeah, Percy and Miles
Oh.
just went out there, just like stole everyone's moves in the pre-show.
Well, they put us on the pre-show. That's not our fault.
And then a certain someone who I'm not going to say because I don't know if we'll end up getting heat with them. Just cut the promo that never ended.
Oh, long promo.
Oh, I wonder who that was.
That was
Oh, goodness.
that was the same time. Remember the same promo. The someone was supposed to jump the guardrail, but hit it
I
instead.
hit his pants for
Oh,
like the
man.
ones to vault over it, but his pants were too tight, and he like fucking crashed and burned and had to crawl under the guardrail. I don't remember who that is. I really hope that I'm not like just making fun of somebody who we've since become friends with.
Oh my gosh. I've
Like
I've
such a
hoped-
prick.
I've not like looked back. Like all I've watched is my match from that show, and I think your match, Percy. But I really hope that like them crashing and burning is just on the video. Now I just want to go back and like see if it's on there.
Have a
Them
whole nother
crashing and
I
burning.
want the crashing and burning to not be on video, just the noise. In the background, you hear a which.
Yeah, just like that.
You just hear the noise, just pop, and you're like, "What was that?"
Oh my gosh.
It's just the fucking gray white in the background.
Oh my gosh. Oh
As I recall, I don't think Saturn booked that show, did he?
no.
I rode up there with Maya. I think that was the first time I met Josh, and that's how I got onto the breakout tournament.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
It's like that was like the last show that they. So I was going to be on. That was October. I was going to be on their November show, and then they shut down for like a year, and they came back January 2022. I went out there with Austin Blaze, and that's how I got on the breakout.
That's right. Yeah. That sounds about right.
That was the trend with EWE, was to run one show and then not have a show for like 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved working there the little bit that I did though. It was fun. I wish it was still running.
Yeah, the one match I had there was with Lobo, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Lobo's a beast.
Wasn't that the breakout
Oh,
tournament?
yes.
Yeah.
God damn you, Percy.
Oh,
That's
Fucking-
where I worked Zoe.
Jeffrey John in the semifinals. Fuck that guy.
All right. Who likes Jeffrey Johns?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
screw
like-
Jeffrey Johns. Especially because I have to work him January 27th. So
I like
screw that
Jeff.
guy.
Me and him always have mutual respect for one another.
He secretly hates you. I'm sorry I had to be the one to
No,
tell you.
in fact, he does.
Yeah, no. But yeah, that tournament was a lot of fun. That's where I worked Lorenzo, Forever Young, who's also a member of the Tragedy Boys. He's like the Michigan branch. I think he's secretly
Okay.
embarrassed of us, but it's
Fuck that.
fine. He's just the most talented member of the group. It's fine.
Only in Michigan, he's the most talented.
Yeah, can we say that around Percy? Like, if we're not constantly jerking Percy off, he's gonna get like really upset. Guys.
That's true. Yeah.
We got to make set a timer for every 10 minutes that we just talk about how good Percy is.
When you talk about
like,
how
all of
good
his
Percy
spots.
is, especially how good Percy's kicks are.
Yeah, we got to talk about like how many matches he wins or how many titles he has.
Hey, we
And
don't
Percy's
talk about
best.
how I win, how many times I'm booked to lose all the time.
Oh yeah, you're booked to lose all the time, and you have 4 championships. Ooh.
I have one. No, that's false. I have 2 belts now out of the 4. Did I have 4?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
Kenzie the broadcast, by the way.
Yeah, I see. Kenzie, our fellow tragedy girl.
Does she also get an introduction, or is she just gonna listen to us talk?
think
crap?
I don't know if she wants an introduction. She can have one.
For like 5 minutes.
Oh, and then what?
I'm gonna be hot
Um,
tea.
So
Percy, is that your bed?
What?
Is that your bedroom?
Yeah, why?
Hey, where's the flag at?
Oh, it's right over there.
why don't you carry it out to the ring with you, you dork?
Hey, look, it's a flag that I spent $65 on so that you can take it to shows with you.
It's in my room. It's
Oh
just
my,
gradually just hanging up next to an awesome picture I have.
oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're not gonna get anywhere if we keep rambling on like this. I want you guys to be able to have the chance to talk about how you guys got into wrestling. What kind of what kind of made you choose to get into wrestling? What, did you grow up watching it? Did you get into it at a later date? Let me know. And I think the audience would enjoy hearing that. So Percy, I'll start with you. How did you kind of get into wrestling?
Honestly, I got into wrestling because growing up, me and my brother on Fridays, whenever we weren't watching football, we would just scanner through the TV, and we randomly saw Batista and Kane on an episode of SmackDown.
Oh my god.
And yeah, way back in the day. And my brother was like, "Oh, my buddy has a DVD of Kane." Then he like name dropped him. And like I was just intrigued by it. And like this was when like Edge was feuding with like Rey Mysterio leading up to their like Royal Rumble match.
Oh, okay. So this was like end of 2007,
Yeah.
early 2008.
7, and I was just intrigued. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, SmackDown's amazing. So I started watching Friday Night SmackDown every Friday, even when they were doing all the channel hopping from Dayton CW and like MTV, or forget the channel they were on in 2008. But then started
My
watching
TV?
all. Yes. But and then honestly just grew up watching it, and then I didn't realize what independent wrestling was till I went to Walmart and got a Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, and they showed all of Florida Championship Wrestling stars. It was like
Okay.
Tyler Black was there, or whatever woman's name was before Roman Reigns, John Moxley, and just all those guys. And then within the years, watching them get to the main roster. And then on a Thursday, out of the blue, what was Impact on for originally?
Spike.
Were they on
What year? So I went from
2009?
Spike. Spike.
Yeah,
No,
Spike.
Yeah.
On when I was looking at that magazine, I heard about Impact Wrestling, or TNA at the time, and then I would just watch Impact and then WWE, and then just kind of flip flop between the two. And then they did the stupid Monday Night Wars where TNA lost all the time. I watched a terrible Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair match that should have happened in like 2012.
Oh my god.
Like that was
Hey man, he had diverticulitis of a penis, brother.
like that was like one of the worst matches I think I've seen. I watched the Jeff Hardy super stoned incident with Sting
Oh.
live and instantly regretted it because I was so pissed. But honestly, just after that, after high school, I was like, I want to be a wrestler. And I'm always 100% honest with this, but I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw that Combat Zone was doing an open tryout in Dayton,
Oh no.
Ohio.
Oh
With no wrestling experience, I signed up and instantly got my butt whooped by everybody.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is like a lot of people were there. Like MJF. This was MJF before MJF was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did like a tag team match with someone, and I forget. He was like this like beast character or something. Like he was the manager of it. Like he had the scarf and everything, but this was like before Combat Zone like used him really well. That was actually the first time I met Trey Miguel. But I got my butt kicked by everybody, and then I started training. I can't say my trainer's name because he's canceled, but
Yeah. You can say
So
your other trainers' names.
yeah. I was trained by Kongo Kong. He took me under his wing for a little bit. Same with Ace Austin and Zachary Wentz. They took me under the wing for a little bit. But after that, I've been training from 2015 till because I was going to college as well, and then from 2015 to 2019, I just trained and went to college. College didn't work out for me. Went back to full-time just wrestling. And then I got my first ever match in April of 2019 against Daniel Archer of XVW.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, that shows you how far I've grown because he still wrestles for XVW and only XVW.
Oh snap.
No, I love Daniel, but yeah, I will give him the credit that he was my first ever live match.
Yeah.
And after that, just started traveling with people, wrestling, and honestly, just been doing things on my own after that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, you had a lot of really good people who you were able to train under, even the one who's canceled. But Congo and Zachary Wentz and Ace are all great people that you were able to work under and get experience from. And you mentioned that Saturn also was at Rockstar for a time, but Saturn, you also trained at a different academy. Um, so tell me a little bit about how you got into wrestling as well, and your training and your background as well.
I just wanted to start first off. I was like looking at my shoe, and I think I need a new shoe. So I can put my finger all the way up into it.
I like how he wasn't even paying
That's like
attention.
your wrestling boots. That's like your wrestling boots.
Oh, brother.
Speaking of wrestling boots, I got
put my whole fucking
new
hand in my boots.
shoes.
I'm like, you don't wear boots.
I will never wear boots.
I don't know. Boots are like too like wrestling.
Heavy.
It's the way of all the high spots.
I got new gear on the way. They just haven't been made yet.
Are they Tragedy Boy gear?
No.
Why?
They're
Get
fucking piece of
Tragedy
shit.
Boy gear.
Aaron's getting. Yeah, Aaron. I have the design for Aaron's gear. He has the materials. We're going to give them to Aaron at Hybrid. He's going to get them before you do.
Aaron's gonna have his Tragedy Boy gear before you, the creator of the Tragedy Boys. Okay.
Hey, I got good money coming.
Nuts, bitch.
For what?
Why are you looking at me like?
I'm making your gear for them.
Do you hear that, Kinsey? Take my gear from here.
Okay. Well, make him Tragedy Boys gear, please. Do it.
Yeah, the fuck.
No, here's the issue with her making my gear. They'll never be made. That's
Yes,
why
they
she wants to
will.
make my gear. So I don't.
Oh well, that's no different than the Tragedy Boys gear, anyways. That will never be.
Yeah.
Oh, if I had Percy make, can I? I'm gonna go ahead. It'll be on film. But it doesn't matter. Well, if I have Kenzie make my gear, it would never get made. So we're gonna give it anyways, Percy.
Yeah, they made.
Oh my gosh.
And if it wasn't
All right.
for me, bills wouldn't be paid. Ain't that right? Ain't
The
that right?
creator of the Tragedy Boys. Fuck.
Yeah.
And you know what? I
Saturn.
wish Aaron were because he was there for Percy's tryout.
Yes, he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, I was telling Aaron about it, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I know that kid. Is that the kid with the speech impediment?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, he got his ass kicked." We're like, he said it was kind of deserved because Percy apparently came in and said, "I'm a backyarder," and that immediately got under like people's crawl, and so like he got roughed up a little bit, but then everyone agreed that it went too far. And then afterwards, they were like, "Man, well, that's the last time we saw that kid."
And
And he just kept coming back. But so Aaron was there, and he was like, he watched the whole murder. Right up to the double top.
He watched me die. Yeah. The good days.
Yeah. Much like Aaron, I started training for James Avery out in Columbus. But before that, I started watching wrestling before Gaston was born. Old man Saturn over here. Like I don't remember what exactly got me into wrestling, but all of my like first memories kind of like gravitated around it. Like I had the original SmackDown for PS1. I had like 2 VHS tapes, like Starcade '98 with Goldberg and Nash, and Starcade '99, not Starcade, Sold Out '99 with Goldberg and Hall, as well as like a Best of Raw 2000 tape.
It wasn't
I just constantly. What did you say?
So it wasn't 2002, was it? The year of Triple H.
No, it was 2000. That's why I said 2000 because it was from the year of 2000. Fucking piece of trash. But I was just constantly surrounded by it in some form or another. I used to watch Raw. I tried to watch SmackDown as much as I could. I couldn't watch SmackDown until after they left UPN. Once we got satellite or something. And then like I was like scrolling through the channels on like a random Thursday, and I saw like TNA Impact Wrestling. What? That's not WWE. Let me click that real quick. And then fucking Jeff Hardy and Abyss were there, and Jeff Hardy's my dog. I'm like, oh shit, it's Jeff Hardy and Kane. Then Sabu came out of nowhere with a chair. Shit, awesome. And then from there, I found like Pro Wrestling Ohio used to have a show on like the local affiliates at 2 in the morning. It was like an hour, and it had like Matt Cross, M Dog 20 versus like I don't even know if Gargano. Yeah, I think like little baby Gargano was wrestling there.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then dude, pro wrestling, like the old PWOs. I'm pretty sure I saw my trainer wrestle like fucking Colt Cabana or some shit. I just didn't even put it together until like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then I also found PWIs because I found WWE magazines, and I found the PWIs, and I found what really changed everything was like PWI Independent Annual 2005. It had like AJ, Joe, and I think John Cena on the front of it. It was like a rundown of like 200 different independent promotions in America. I was like, holy shit! Look at all of this wrestling that isn't WWE or TNA. I just found like all kinds of. That's how I got introduced to Ring of Honor, and like the first Japanese wrestlers I saw were Kenta, Takeshi Morishima, and I think Go Shiozaki. And that was like when they were feuding with like when Morishima knocked out Bryan Danielson's eyeball. Fucking Kenta and Marufuji were wrestling. I think Kenta Kobashi versus Joe was in that magazine, and I was just like, I found like so much other stuff. I found like wrestling in Mexico and Japan from there.
Yeah.
So it was just like constantly trying to find more and more and more and more. And then once I figured out the internet, I was like, oh shit, backyard wrestling's fucking crazy. It's like I try to like go back to it and watch it, and it's as soon as they lock up, I start to like physically.
Speaking of
But
there's a match with me and Riley Rose.
Oh no!
In my backyard on our trampoline from like I think 2011. And my mom still has that like record, like what we recorded it on.
Oh my
I remember we didn't have our weapons were our shoes.
Oh my gosh.
I remember grabbing my shoe and just knocking him in the face with my shoe. I was like, tail
Learn to
shot.
work, brother. Jesus. Fucking so Percy's always been stiff. Oh my god. Stiff and unsafe.
I'm so glad that my backyard stuff does not exist. Like I used to do backyard stuff, but I got rid of like all of it because I was like made fun of in school for it. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm taking all this down. I'm so happy it doesn't exist.
I was proud of. I had my brother record me walk from my basement door all the way to the trampoline like it was my entrance.
Did you do the Goldberg entrance?
No, I did my whole pose thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my brother recorded me. Riley too. That match is secretly just like in a vault.
Oh my
never
gosh.
see the light of day.
I don't think any of my stuff was like recorded, unless you count like my first professional wrestling match or Horror Slam, which was in someone's back.
Yeah, no, that match is on YouTube.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know who Riley Rose is, he's a kind of sometimes member of the Tragedy Boys as well.
The Tragedy Boys, I'm just gonna say it now, was me and Riley's rap name in high school. Me and Riley used to rap in high school. We were the bad meets evil of all high school. And Tragedy Boys was our name. And then we became and we were like, that's gonna be our tag team name. And it was. But then I'm gonna fanboy here. Well, meant to be in a fanboy that I wanted the group to be like the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
So that's where me and him started recruiting people. But the credit does go to Saturn because me and Riley put no effort into like the t-shirts and the branding and the
not even no effort, but like actual negative effort.
Because me and Riley are focused on our singles career.
I have this idea to start a team. I mean, that's it. I just had the idea.
Well,
you expect me to put in work behind it?
Yeah. So Riley started getting like AIW and stuff, which are kind of bigger deals on the indies, and so you guys kind of went a little more of your separate ways. I mean, we all still talk, but you guys kind of went your separate ways, and then it just kind of was a group chat for a while and a void, and so then Saturn, was like, why don't we just do something with this? Like, isn't that our goal? And I think, and me and Saturn have talked, and I think our goal at this point is to just kind of be a Japanese-sized faction again. Well, so kind of like Bullet Club. So it's funny that you say that, Percy, because Saturn and I have definitely talked about that. I mean, that's why we have the flags. So
yeah, where's that flag at again, Percy?
It's in my room. I see it every day when I go change clothes.
So we had earlier iterations of the Tragedy Boys before we actually like made it a thing, and I think Percy and I are kind of the only two original members left, unless you count Riley, who kind of sort of sometimes is.
Riley is like, I love him to death, and I know he's probably gonna listen to this, and he knows I'm right.
And that's why we're gonna fucking bury him. That small bastard. No matter how many push-ups you can do, you're still always gonna be 5'5".
No, but Riley, I think he only messages in the group chat when it involves a booking that either involves him or he wants us to ride with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's as much as like an actual stable member as much as like Chinstrap is. Now, because
Thinking
because
it'll-
Kyle will still like message me and be like, "Am I in the group?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Are you?"
Yeah.
Like he's like an auxiliary member. If like we had Wikipedia, he'd be like sub alternate. He's a bone soldier.
Yeah, because it was me, Percy, Riley, Zach, and Kyle. We were really like the tragedy boys, so to speak. It was me, Percy, Riley, Zach, Thomas, and Kyle Barrett, Chinstrap. And but nothing like really came of it. Saturn, you were in there. You were in there some too, kind of towards the tail end when we like weren't really doing anything with it. I know Riley
for about
and
a
Zach,
year. It was just like a group chat.
Yeah, I know Riley and Zach kind of teamed a little bit here and there. Zach eventually left and was like, I don't know like what this is, so I'm leaving.
He left on mutual terms.
Yeah.
He didn't leave.
But there is video evidence of him saying we are the trash.
Yeah.
And at some point, we got to go back and find it and just clip it and post it under his shit. I like random spots.
That was a
Hashtag
Jeff Paul show.
Yeah.
That was a show that Jeff Paul was winning.
Yeah. So you explained like how the Tragedy Boys came to be. But how did I really become a Tragedy Boy? You want to explain that story, Percy? Because
you after EWE, all dumbasses tried to wrestle for IWA, and we did the tryout show, and you messaged me about wanting
fucking Mark.
to walk me. Yeah, you wanted to walk me, and you were like, truthfully, like the 5th person to message me that was like, "We'll see, I want to walk you that show." And truthfully, I don't know. I liked talking to you, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna walk this kid. And I said no to everybody else, and I wanted to walk you.
we had a decent match.
Yeah, I think our match was pretty good. We went fullest.
Yeah.
We were confident enough to go fullest. Well, also we were walking in front of 5 people.
Yeah. We were working in front of literally no one in the middle of Connorsville in an old abandoned mall
that we didn't get paid.
Yeah, of course not. We paid to be on that show because it was a freaking tryout show.
After the match, you got me booked at Supreme.
Okay. Yeah.
In which I randomly bumped into Saturday.
Yeah. So, like Percy said, while I was training, I went with Warhorse, Pat the Bruiser, and Crosshairs Kelly out to Rockstar to just do security. You know, my young boy shit. That's where I met Percy, as well as a couple other people, Damian Chambers, Casey of Alpha Sigma, a couple real cool dudes. And then Percy disappeared because, you know, the King of Dayton decided he needs to be excommunicated. So I didn't see Percy for probably at least 6 months or so, maybe even longer than that. And then on the way to EWE, what's that?
So was it really that long?
It was because when did you stop going to the Rockstar? It was because they shut down February 2020. And I don't think you were there since like maybe the December of 2019
of 2020, because why I got exiled was because I took Damien to XICW, but I also took someone else to XICW that the King of Dayton did not like. All because he had dirt on him. And when he found out that I pulled the dirt on him, he quietly banished me from training. Quietly. Like, and I mean quietly because, like, I got kicked off the group chats and everything all because like he wanted me at training one day, and I was told by multiple people that, hey, watch out, he's planning to kick your ass. And I said, oh, I'm not gonna be there. And then the next morning, damn.
That's real fucking professional.
Yeah, like I had like that class had like what, like 15 people. I think me, Damien, and Alpha Sigma Sigma are the only people that are still wrestling. In that.
I mean, Philip laughed.
Philip, I love Philip to death, but he's too injury prone. He'll be like.
I think last year it was like a thigh injury, and then a foot injury, and then a concussion. Or
goodness.
Kind of. Yeah, I think he only had like maybe 5 matches.
Oh,
I
that's
got
rough.
him at a Midwest actually.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was his last. That was his last match.
Wow.
It's amazing, by the way, just Percy saying he got excommunicated because he drove with someone that someone else didn't like. It's amazing how many times we've gotten heat with people because of people that we know. Not even like fully associated with, but just like we're halfway friendly with them. And it's like, you got heat with me, brother. Like, well, I didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, it's the one thing I like about wrestling. It's like if you have beef with someone and you're like the middleman in between someone else's beef, and you're trying to like pick a side, like you're not on anybody's side, but they're like, oh, we're not gonna book you because you're friends with this person, or you said something to this person that upsetted them, so we're not gonna book you because of it. And I just hate it.
Ridiculous.
Right. I mean, pardon my pun, but it's such a tragedy that things are that way because, I mean, really, it's such a tragedy that things are that way because, and that wrestling is such a petty business like that because, like, there's definitely people that I'm friends with that also don't like other people that I'm friends with in this business. And it's just like, why can't you just like coexist? Or why can't you just respect the fact that one person is friends with another person? It's very high school and very childish. And as much as I love this business, it definitely has its flaws, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, and flaws too.
Yeah, wrestling's hella petty, especially that Percy guy. That Percy guy's super petty.
Yeah, real petty.
Especially if I don't get booked for like 30 minutes. Oh, I pulled a real petty.
Oh, that's right. We gotta put Percy over real quick. Percy, you're just so good at
Percy, you're just so good.
That super kick.
Oh my gosh, Percy.
You should win more matches, Percy.
Oh my gosh, Canadian Destroyer me off the top rope, Percy, please.
Hey,
book Percy Drews to win matches, because he never wins.
I never win.
It's just like a.
No, you want to know?
But
you want to know why I made the win-loss thing just a big deal? Was because
you're a mark.
No, I'm not
because
a mark.
You're a mark.
There's a website.
Yes, you are.
Tell
me I'm wrong.
Quit being a little mark, you little piss boy.
No, there's a website that this fan. I don't know if it's multiple fans, but they do certain promotions, and they even do Supreme. I'm pretty sure Gaston should probably look it up, but they do your win-loss record. And why I'm making a win or loss thing a big deal is because on that website, Pussy Drews has like a 70% losing rate.
Really?
Like all the matches that the fans like put on this website, it's me losing.
Oh my gosh.
So it literally
it's a fucking work, Percy. You should probably get over yourself.
It's a work, brother. Don't work yourself into a shoot.
This website says I have a 30% win rate.
What website is it? Are you talking about Cage Match?
I think that's what it is.
Really? I have like 4 matches on Cage Match.
No, Percy, you're done. You're done talking. I'm talking now. So I met Percy at Rockstar. I didn't realize he was such a fucking mark, or else I probably wouldn't have been friends with him. Then we're going up to EWE, and I happen to like look out my side window, and Percy's in the car beside me. I'm like, oh shit, I know that guy. And he's looking over, like, oh shit, I know that guy. So we get to the show, and we're just like talking. It's just about like catching up, whatever. I meet you too, but like my only thoughts of you is why won't he just take this Canadian destroyer? Just like simply do a backflip on top of your head. Just take a Canadian destroyer forehead. And then
Wrestling someone on TV. Come
and
on.
then I got booked out at Supreme. I'd been there a couple months prior, and I wrestled a fucking banger against Petey Young. Like a real 2-minute banger that ended when he schoolboyed me and somehow like schoolboyed me into the ropes and got his head between my legs. It was like it's almost like he wasn't very good at wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut you off.
But
I'm gonna cut you off. I want to.
It's better be
Of course, you're
important.
gonna cut him off. Of course,
No,
you gotta get your shit in,
God.
Percy. Huh? You gotta
What are
get
you
your
gonna
shit in.
say?
I want to tell the story of like Supreme because I was so like not used to it. I was facing Nakeem, and me and him were forced.
We're not there yet because you weren't wrestling Nakeem on this show, were you?
No. This.
Yeah, all right. So how about we just fucking wait till we get there, you son of a bitch.
Okay.
I ought to fucking curb
I
stop you,
can wait.
fucking rat bastard.
We're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
All right, so I get to the Supreme show, and fucking Percy pops up and it's like, oh shit, I just saw you like a week ago. Again, if I realized Percy was Percy, I would have just ignored him. But I didn't realize Percy was Percy, so we started talking. And like while we were backstage, he like came up to me like real serious. He's like, I got this idea, this really cool idea. I call it the Tragedy Boys. And he like gave me like this pitch that he obviously like rehearsed. And after like this 5-minute like pitch, complete with PowerPoints and signs and graphs.
Oh, I want to see
He
the
was like,
graphs.
so what do you think? Do you want to be it? Yeah. They also had a speech impediment. So after like this big presentation, he's like, so what do you think? I'm like, yeah, that sounds okay. Wait, that's it? That's your reaction to it? Like he looked like legitimately like upset. I like wasn't super impressed by it. I'm like, I got nothing better to do. I guess I'll like join your fucking group or something. and so that was when I got added into the group chat with you, Percy, Zach, Kyle, and Riley, and it immediately turned into all of us shitting on Percy. And then that was a period where we could only get booked at Supreme, which I'm not going to take anything away from Draven. Good dude. I got a lot of bookings there, and I learned some stuff while I was there. But he was like legitimately like the only person that would book me for like 2 or 3 months just because I had no name value at all.
Right.
It was like all of the young boy shit I did was in Ohio, and fucking Ohio was so closed down. So from there, it was just, oh, you're Gaston. I just talked to you in the fucking group chat. You're short. And then we just kind of like started hanging out from there at Supreme every week, ruining their shows by crotch shopping.
ruining the shows by doing dives.
I still have
just like fucking ruin. Thank you for booking us. Now we're gonna fucking start ourselves over.
I still have the gifs of us crotch chopping from that show, like me, you, and Riley. So I need to include that in the video version when I edit it. When I edit this, I need to include that. Yeah, it's too good. It's too good.
I couldn't do it because I was the only baby face, but you guys were like cross chops everywhere.
I think Riley was a baby face and did it anyways.
I think yeah.
Zach was a baby face against.
Walked you, right?
You still did it.
Yeah, because Riley worked babyface at Supreme, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It's
Yes,
funny. It's funny because Gaston, you have a victory over all the Tragedy Boy members, but Saturn.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, like,
not Aaron.
if he
I don't
ever
have
like
one over
stops
Aaron.
to, all right, well, he's only been a member since like November though, so it's
Yeah.
still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But you know, if he just stops being like such a little fucking pussy ass bitch boy and just defends that AIWF television title against me real quick.
I gladly will. I mean, that's
By the way,
so where we left off. You talked about how you got associated with us, and so now I want to talk about how we started to finally build the brand of the Tragedy Boys. Because Saturn, you had the idea of why don't we just actually do something with this? So what steps did we kind of begin to take with that? And then I can throw in here and there too, because I think it was me and you who really started to take the initiative, and then Percy came along.
I was there
I
for
was about to say, wow, we is a strong word.
I definitely helped big time
Um,
because I helped with a lot of social media stuff.
so it was, let's see here. Like we really like got into the group chat in like 2021, right? So we
Yeah.
met in 2020. Group chat was most of 2021, and then maybe I'm gonna say like around October, because we always talked about like just like fucking tagging and like, oh yeah, guys, we should like tag somebody, you know? Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we didn't do anything about it.
So we, let's see, I probably started when we were traveling together. So the Michigan trip where my radiator exploded and we were stuck in the middle of the road, and that dipshit cop told us not to park in the road like we had a fucking choice.
That was
That was
early in the year.
that was March, and that was when we first started like actually traveling as a group.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that was around the same time that Percy and Riley teamed like once at PWA, and then
Against
Zach,
GTA.
and then Zach and Riley got on last minute at a Jeff Paul show in West Virginia, where we got Zach to say, "You got to go out there and fucking say you're trash. You gotta do it. You gotta do it." And they fucking did it.
Nice.
And then Percy and Riley teamed again in West Virginia for Gary Dameron's All Star against someone.
We did do that. We won a fatal four-way like tag team match.
Yeah, so that was the I think that was like their anniversary show, because that was the same show as in a battle royal, and Crosshairs Kelly and Pat the Bruiser and Jabari all corner me and just start chopping the soul out of me. And the poor Kobe Max tried to like get involved. I think she took like a fucking shoot headbutt from Crosshair. Only like 17 at the time too.
That was when did a corkscrew off the top rope for the first time.
Yeah. So that was us, like actually so that was mostly Percy actually like teaming, but like very, very light association.
At the time,
and then going,
me and He Who Shall Not Be Named were also teaming still, I believe.
Because when the original plan was for you guys to be the tag team of the group. So it was like Percy was going to be like the head, the face. She's going to be the head of the table. We were going to have to acknowledge him.
I'm the tribal chief.
You guys were going to be tag team. I was going to be a member. Riley was a member, and then Lorenzo, which I think we accidentally got him in the group, because like I asked him to take a picture of us. I'm like, hey, can we get a picture? And he said, sure. And then he was in on the picture. He had the phone off to someone else, and he was in the picture with us. I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess he can be here too. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that was like my cover photo for the longest time.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, Lorenzo's in the group as well.
Yeah.
So going on into 2021, you and Homeboy broke up. We really strung him along about joining the group. We were unnecessarily douchey to him. Like I
No,
think
it was completely
he
necessary.
I think he actually wanted to like be in the group, and we like built it up, but really we're just a shitty little group chat. And we like told him he had to win a belt with corn on it.
Yeah.
He had to win the fucking corn belt. So you guys broke up. So we didn't have really a tag team. Percy was doing some stuff. I was doing some stuff. Everybody was like doing shit. Zach eventually like he was like, yeah, you guys are fucking dorks, and he stopped associating with us.
Yeah. I really wanted to
Kyle,
team with someone again, by the way. Like, I really wanted to team with someone again because I love tag team wrestling. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
And you spent like what, a year in a tag team?
Yeah.
At least you were in tag team. You're in like a whole fucking faction yourself. You, Draven, Lily,
Me, Draven,
Josh,
me,
Roger.
Draven, Cameron, Josh, Lily. Roger wasn't with us at the time. Roger and Draven still teamed as custom made at Emerge, but Roger wasn't officially affiliated with us at Supreme.
Well, he was in the group, just not there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, you're already used to like being in a faction then.
Yeah.
So as 2021 goes on, like very sporadic tag appearances, it's mostly just us posting like Instagram and shit talking in the group chat. And then late in the year, I'm like, so should we actually try to team? And everyone's like, I mean, I guess. I'm like, we've been talking about like teaming for about a year, and besides like a few tag matches, like we haven't.
Right.
And so that was when I started to like look into like logos. I was like, all right, Tragedy Boys. What does that mean? What are they? And quite honestly, I still don't know. Like if like someone asked me what are the Tragedy Boys, I'd say I don't know, a group of friends that shit on Percy.
Yeah.
But like I was like thinking tragedy, the tragedy mask.
Well,
maybe
here's
like
the way I
death
always
is
think
a tragedy,
of
so that's where the outline
Boys.
came from.
Right. Sorry. The way I always think of Tragedy Boys is like this. I think of all of us and in what way like are things tragic, especially for us three. I think about Percy and his tragedy being his speech impediment. And then and then Saturn, you're kind of like
just how much he doesn't win matches.
That's right. That's right. And then Saturn, you're like this pop punk emo type of guy.
Old man Saturn.
And then I'm Gaston, who literally died. So that's the way I think of it.
We're like Beauty and the Beast reference right there.
So that's just the way I think of it personally.
What you like in the story?
Gaston's never been. He's average at best.
Let's be. I'm gonna toot Gaston's horn, but he is the best technical wrestler out of all of us.
Thank you.
Also, the only one who does technical wrestling.
Yeah.
That's like saying you're the best at super kicks. You're the only one who does super kicks.
Lorenzo's just good at everything, though.
We gotta get him out of Detroit. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you.
Oh,
we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you out of
there. Xandor, young boy. Once he starts to drive, traveling with us everywhere.
Yeah, we're already starting. We're like cigarettes, man. We're starting with him young. We're getting him on the road. Like Percy, his original idea, like he said he wanted to be like Bullet Club, but then when he actually like explained it, it was nothing. His idea was nothing like Bullet Club. It was more like Suzuki-gun.
Okay.
But he wouldn't know that because he only watches Will Ospreay highlights.
That's right.
And Kenny Omega.
So I'm like, oh my god. So I like came up with the logo probably first,
Mm.
and then I'm like trying to come up with merchandise. And I'm like pitching it to you guys. I'm like, I have all of these ideas. I still had a lot of ideas that I didn't get to. I still have a lot of ideas too. We're just not there yet.
Yeah.
But it, like started with the logo, and then trying to set up a Facebook and it not working. So we had Xander set up like an Instagram account.
Yeah.
He ran the Instagram for the longest time.
Yeah. I
Then
finally
the Twitter
got a
account. Yeah, it took like fucking I feel like half of a year for it to actually work. So it started with like very base designs. I came up with like the logo. I came up with the color scheme. I came up with the music. I came up with like a lot of the ideas for it. You and Xander ran social media. This, you understand it a lot better than I do. And Xander just like made graphics for us just because he felt like it. So that also helped a lot. You also were able to make highlights of all of our stuff, which was super helpful.
Yeah. I need to make a new one, by the way.
And then I think our schedule is like I'll make the highlights and post them in the summer, and then you'll make the highlights and post them in the winter. We always have like 6 months worth of new shit out.
You cut out.
Yeah, Percy continued to do nothing. He used to
There we go.
just fucking exist. So after 2021 of me establishing most of everything, it was like, all right, now we got to actually like tag booking. So a lot of the stuff that I sent out, I was like, hey, I got a tag team. Can we tag? And I got a whole lot of no.
Yeah. Towards the end of 2021 is when you and I started teaming.
Yeah, it was I think maybe February 2022 because it was like the only person who like because the only person who because I started going to XVW in summer 2021 and then some stuff happened and I left, and then you started going at the end of 2021. I'm like, this is probably the best chance for us to actually start tagging.
Yeah.
So I feel like a big part of it was me going to promote saying, hey, we'd like to tag, and then saying, have you tagged before? No. Do you have matching gear? No. You have literally anything in common? We both have wieners, and then it's like, nah. All right, that's it. So like I realized the best chance of us tagging was probably going to be at XVW.
Yeah.
So
because we were both
like
baby faces and doing nothing.
Literally doing nothing.
Yeah. After a month and a half, we're like, dude, like you have people who want a team.
Yeah.
Put us in some fucking matches, you know?
Yeah.
And finally, like we got a tag match against Gary Gandy and Dax Knight.
Yeah.
And we had like a weird mini feud with like fucking Gary Gandy. And then we had like a feud with Dax and Travis.
Lots of us getting kicked in the balls.
Every week. Like you'd think at some point we buy a fucking cup.
Yeah.
And then just like ridiculous like match types. Like you remember that fucking bat match?
Oh, painfully. The crazy thing is, me and Dax kind of worked our butts off in that match, but there was just no saving. We had some cool spots.
Especially like like I went in with a horrible concussion that I lied to myself about. And then like after I made it worse like 2 days before I got there, and I'm like I was racking my brain about how to make this match work, and I go up to Tom Petty, and I'm like, so Dax has to take that for me. Why wouldn't I just like hit him? I'm asking questions. He got really snippy with me, and I was like ready to headbutt him.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't, and he eventually like he was real cool about it because he like called a meeting beforehand. He's like, "Hey, I was kind of a dick to Saturn. Let me apologize to him in front of everybody." So I'm like, "All right, you know what? You were a dick, but you were like cool about it, so I'll be cool about it." But like I tried to set up like the end of this match because I needed it to look like a specific thing, and then that didn't happen. And then the fucking handcuff broke like 2 minutes into the match.
Yeah.
I had to have Dwayne tie my hand to the fucking apron. It was just a fucking calamity. But besides the point of it just being absolutely awful, at least we were tagging. And from there, we were able to get footage to send out to people. So 2022 was definitely the establishing the Tragedy Boys.
Yeah.
I got us onto Jeremiah's show.
FU Wrestling.
We got onto a couple other places.
I got onto PWA.
I've forgotten. Yeah. We would have gone on to Horror Slam, but Rachel is like, I guess having watched other matches in other companies of you doesn't count. She needed to see you in a battle royal before she can book you.
Yeah. Because me in a battle royal is really going to showcase all my abilities.
It's not like you have a fucking barn burner with Adam Wick months ago, but whatever. So it was 2022 was just establishing us as a tag team.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, Percy keeps cutting out. All I keep hearing is "fuck Horror Slam." I really hope that's it.
That is it.
Okay.
Then Percy came along. XVW.
You realize?
Fucking eventually, fucking 20 minutes.
I was just chilling at home.
Yeah, 20 minutes from the fucking venue. He lives in Dayton, but it's like fucking whatever.
I'm saying our promos, like asking where like Percy was and stuff, were pretty hysterical. That was pretty good.
I was just like, fucking, where the fuck is Percy?
Yeah.
You're going on the couch watching Riverdale.
But we weren't getting like a lot of other tag team bookings, and that's when we had the idea to like, what else can we do? So we kind of, you remember we made the promo for PWA where we're just like, we're calling out the trios champions, and we're like,
oh yeah,
hopefully something comes from that. So we just like started cutting promos. We're like hopefully, okay, something comes from this, because it's like, hey, we're willing to travel. It's not like we have to like go over and win the belts, but it's like, hey, promotions, look at us, we're cutting promos and we're not even on your show.
And
then
and the reason we did that with PWAS is because they had brought in a trios division, brought in trios titles, and the Tragedy Boys were an established thing already. Yeah, and they had no trios. So we were like, hey,
they had Detroit Punk and they had Cobra Kai.
Yeah, and that's still their trios. well, I mean, okay, and that's fine. And you put Detroit Punk on there, but like the Tragedy Boys were already established, and we were looking to establish ourselves further. So we were trying to get on there to have a trios match. We tried getting Forever Young in our group as well, but we're an Ohio group apparently. Anyway, go on,
Saturn. Oh, I can't put you guys in a because Kyle was like there too, and I'm like, why can't you just team with Kyle?
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, why can't they team with us? And he's like, I can't put them with you. They're Ohio boys. Like, what?
Well, I wasn't even from Ohio at the time.
Yeah, like Gaston's from Indiana.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, it's not like we wanted to. It's not like we wanted it to go over. We just wanted books.
Right.
Just give us it was the era of just give us an opportunity to show you what we're capable of.
Yeah.
And then like some other stuff we were doing. Like, do you remember the just us walking through a Dollar General in our gear, just shit talking?
Yeah, just try to get
We're
our
like we're spitballing different kinds of things that we can do. Gaston was talking about doing a podcast forever, but my thing about it was like he said we should put tape in the car, and I'm like, well, if we do that, we have to cut out a lot of the stuff that's going to get us heat with people, and 90% of the stuff that we say is going to get us heat with somebody.
I'm gonna have to cut out some stuff on here that's gonna get us heat
Oh
anyway.
yeah,
So it's,
You could keep the stuff
it's
that
a
we
lot.
talk
It's a
trash
lot of shit talking.
about. They don't need to know who we talk trash about.
you know,
But
it'll be fine.
But yeah, so it was a lot of us trying us. It was Gaston and I trying different things, seeing what clicks and what doesn't, and then it was also establishing who the members are.
Yeah.
So, like, it was Gaston and I and Percy because it was his idea, although he refused to fucking come to Dayton. Simply come to Dayton. And then
I didn't
Riley,
but this time
Riley just didn't want to be associated with us,
Mhm.
and it's like it's cool, it's whatever. Like, I'm not gonna force somebody to be like in our stupid group,
Yeah.
But we did get him to wear the shirt like once. So we
He
got
did
a picture.
associate with us at
Like,
one
if
XVW
he's
show.
not gonna be in the well, like if he's not gonna be in the group, then it's like it's whatever, dude.
Right.
But Xander was always like a ride or die.
Yeah.
Bill was in the group, but he was always booked in Michigan, except for one time when we had that trios match in Indiana, but that was when Todd got sick. So I had to cancel on it.
Yeah.
But it was us trying different things, trying desperately to get booked. Eventually, after we like got some credibility behind us, we like got booked out on like a PWA in Cincy against
Yeah.
American Greed, which was really fun.
Yeah. That was great.
We got booked to a couple other places. I got Percy on in Marion, and we were supposed to team there. And I think he like tore his groin because he doesn't stretch before his matches.
I got you.
you talking about last year?
Yes. Where have
Don't
you
think-
been? We've been talking about 2022.
No, meant like 2021 when I pulled my groin and stuff.
Was that 2021?
Yeah, that was Thanksgiving. Because I couldn't walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was because you.
Well, we were gonna team there, and then he tore his penis.
I pulled my balls.
I said what I said. So yeah, from there we established ourselves, and finally we got Percy out onto XVW,
Yeah.
and immediately it's like, all right, so we can finally like be a trios. We can tag. We can do whatever combination. Promoter Tom Petty. We could do whatever you want. There's three of us. We'll team. We'll trio. What do you want us to do? And he said, I want you guys to turn on Percy. Why? Why? he just got here.
What? No.
The whole point of us being no.
Take the dog to hell.
Don't.
It's
The
funny,
whole point of us being here.
That was his first booking was Pale Pussy with the Tragedy Boys. The next show, y'all gonna turn on him.
But we're trying to establish ourselves as a team, and he's immediately like, no, I don't think you will.
No.
Yeah, because Gaston kicked me in the dick.
I was like, fine, then. We'll go trios out in Michigan, and then I destroyed my leg, and it's like, son of a bitch.
I will say we had some really good matches out in Michigan. I liked all three of our matches, even though I had my issues with each one, but I thought all three of our trios matches were great. I think our trio stuff is our best work.
Mm-hmm.
We woke in Michigan.
The only one I'm not The only one I wasn't too jazzed about was the Bad Bedfellows ones. Only because we went way too goddamn long. If we had just done like the 6-minute scramble I wanted it to do, I think would have been a lot better. But it was like a 15-minute slog, and it was like,
They only beat up on Alex.
By the end of it, it's like, let's just go home.
We tried too hard
We've been out
with
here
that
for
match.
way too long. There's no reason this match should have gone 8 minutes.
The best trios match we did was with
Social Reality.
Yeah, we should have kept it very short, very simple. But you know what? That's one of the points of us teaming out there at FU was that we can like get those kinks out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the trios match with Fine Ass Guys.
And... Oh, so he's gonna fucking interrupt me and talk over me and then cut out like a fucking piece of shit. God damn you, Percy.
The Fine Ass Guys and Kenzie match was really fun.
I only liked it because Kenzie didn't want to woke anybody but me.
Yeah.
She was like,
"You mean when a homeboy is a wiener pop?"
Yeah. Pile drive.
That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I think the Social Reality.
That fucking pile drove homie on the apron and his dick popped out his shirt.
Yeah. So I think the Social Reality match onwards is kind of like where we really started to feel ourselves, in my opinion, because the Social Reality match was August, and that match ruled. Even though you were hurt, like that match was sick. I loved that match, and then we get fired from XVW.
That whole file situation.
So that's gonna lead into the invasion story. Do we want to go over that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think the whole.
All right.
So I think the invasion story. I think the firing to the invasion story to kind of like where we are now is like kind of a big deal. I think that's kind of where we came into our own at that point, in my opinion. Especially as heels, especially as like especially as like character and like what we are, because I made that video for us after the invasion as well. And when we found out about our firing, we also made a video that led into that video.
At my house.
Yeah.
But
so that whole experience kind of like it was very creatively creatively beneficial for me, because once he said, all right, you guys are turning on Percy, I was immediately like, why? And he said, because. I'm like, that's not a good point at all. Even though like everyone was like, dude, it's just XPW, who cares? I'm like, well, I care because it's our story. It's our first like actual story,
right,
as a team. Like this is our establishing like story, and I want it to make some form of logic. So I like started rack my brain around it, and I came up with like 5 weeks or 2 months worth of story.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, here's A to Z. Fucking why did we turn on him? Well, Gaston turned on Percy because Percy he lives 20 minutes from the building. He's just never there. You know, and he was never there to support us in our feud with Gandhi. He was there to support us in our feud with Dax and Travis. Like, well, you know, where has he been? And Percy's like, well, I've been out being like a fucking great wrestler, doing all kinds of cool shit, guys. I've been out winning and like winning belts, and you guys have just been fucking losing here like a bunch of losers. And I'm in the middle, like, guys, come on, let's just be friends, guys. This is really stupid. Why are we fighting? This is stupid, guys. Us fighting and turning on each other for no reason is stupid. I was very meta about it. Like, this is just so goddamn frustrating and stupid. Why aren't we? And that was going to turn into you guys were supposed to have like a big like blow off match, and I was going to turn on Percy and join Gaston, and we were going to be like the heel tag team, and Percy, I think, was going to have to find like another partner. If it wasn't Riley, it was probably going to be Kenzie. And we were going to have like a big tragedy boy versus tragedy boy thing going on. And actually talking to Petty, so it wasn't even supposed to be us turning on Percy. We were supposed to turn on you. Skibby Percy comes in and he immediately turns on Gaston and just basically do the same thing. But apparently he saw you be a heel for PWA. Yeah, he saw you be a heel for a PWA Cincy show, and he's like, "Wow."
I think it was Ascend.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It was some show in Cincinnati. He saw you be a heel, and he was like, "Oh, I should make a Gaston the heel and Percy the face." Which, by that logic, yes.
Yeah.
Because even though Percy is a natural scumbag in person, he is a much better face wrestling.
Yeah.
He's a fucking villain. I don't know. He's a fucking natural villain.
I'm not the villain. I'm not the villain.
Now let me tell you a story. I'm really the villain. But yeah, we were supposed to turn on you, and then he saw you be a heel, and he's like, "Nah, Don needs to be a heel." So I like painstakingly like made all of these like ideas. I went to him with like creative. I had all these ideas for videos. We started to shoot them, and then like after one segment, we got fired.
Yeah.
And we didn't know until Percy like said. But Percy said, "Hey, did you guys see what Tom posted in the forum?" And we were like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, well, why not?" And it's like, "Well, because we're not in the forum anymore, apparently." Like, "Oh, well, why not?" I'm like, "You don't know, Percy. You obviously know more than us. How about you just send us a thing?" And the thing said that he took Gaston out of the forum, so maybe he's a fucking context clue. See? Why can't we see it? Because he made a fake post about how we're not in the forum. But he like shoot fires us.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is there a reason? No. Oh, well, okay, then I guess. And then 2 weeks later or so, he gets a hold of us. He's like,
no. It was like a couple of days because I posted, "Well, guess I'm free Tuesdays."
"Oh, was it?"
Yeah, it was like a few days.
That's right. That's right. The post that fucking changed everything. It got a lot more. It got a lot more traction. I think it should have.
It got way more traction than like I even was expecting it to, or like I wasn't trying to.
Yeah,
get
because
traction.
it was like
It just happened.
it was like my Tuesdays are free, and that turned into like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god, what's going on? And I think that's why he's like, let's capitalize on this, and we were like, fucking capitalize on what? He's like, I got this big idea where you guys are gonna come in and you guys are gonna fucking be the Nexus, and kill Mathis and Bruce and Nate Wings. It's like, all right, are we all together again? Yep. Is there a reason we're together again? I don't know. Oh, son of a bitch. And so I painstakingly like had to retroactively like fix all of the stuff that I come up with. I'm like, all right, so why are we friends again?
Yeah.
We're friends again because it boiled down to me yelling at you.
Yeah.
I had more video segments like written down, but we just never like got around to filming it.
Well, I think what we did worked. I think what we did worked out.
Yeah, no, what we did was fine actually. It all, because it still told the same cohesive story. We got from A to Z where we needed to. This would have been more like I had an idea where I was writing back to a show with Percy, and I'm on the phone with someone. He's like being a real bitch about it, like, "Oh, who are you on the phone with?" And I'm like, "I'm talking to Gaston." He's like, "Oh, Gaston's like such a fucking prick." I'm like, "Nah, dude, it's cool. It's fine." I think that might have been when I think I just forgot to film it, and it turned into like whatever. And I had another idea to like screen record us in a group chat, basically like yelling at each other.
Right.
But again, that just it just didn't materialize. So it came down to us being at Percy's house, and we filmed that video where we like made up that set up to the invasion at XVW,
Yeah.
where I was coming in with a fucking broken leg. It's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
That leg, dude.
He'll leave.
Like, oh, here's this great
front door.
we're gonna get a cool match with social reality, and we're gonna have this hot angle with Mathis and Bruce, and I fucking destroyed my leg. I can't fuck on it.
Man. But yeah, so in the invasion, the actual invasion itself. So my wife and Kenzie are in the car, and we pull up to the front. The whole thing's we pull up to the front door. We come through the front door, hoods and masks. No one knows what's going on. And
the important part is no one knows.
Yeah.
Because he said we have to work the boys, and it's like,
yeah.
why?
So we're working the boys too. The only people who know what's going on are the two people in the ring. And so I walk in first. Percy's behind me. Saturn's behind us, limping. And
Hobbling.
yeah, and so I start to get up on the ring. And I feel something tugging on my leg. I'm like, huh, what's that tugging on my leg? And I turn back and I'm like, huh, the security guard wasn't in on it. I'm like, huh.
Nobody was in on it.
Get the heck off of me. So I kick the security guard in the face. And we get into the ring. Percy and I start beating down Mathis, and the security guard comes on in. And I'm like, huh, he's just really going with it, isn't he? Oh, man, this is good worker. Good worker.
Best part was he only went after Gaston.
Yeah. Well, until Saturn came in. He tried to buck up to Saturn. And Saturn
Which, you know, if this was a shoot, if like three Mascoons interrupted a show, the person I would try to go after is the biggest one.
Yeah.
He had it right the first time. He went after the smallest one.
Yeah. Yeah. So he eventually goes after
But
Saturn.
if I saw three masked assailants accosting people, I wouldn't go after the big one.
Yeah. So me and Saturn just beat this dude down. We're just telling him, hey, it's a work, brother. It's a work, brother. And this dude just
like if you watch any sort of wrestling, yeah, he's a horrible worker. Who trained him?
Horrible. Awful.
But if you watch any form of wrestling and like you see masked goons hop up on it, because like a big part is we hopped up on the apron and we looked at Bruce, who did like the big whoa, what's going on, brother?
Yeah.
While there's a double down going on. So like if you like see that and we're not immediately in the ring, but we're doing like the shield, like looking at him,
Right.
like you know, get a clue. Hit the gym, get a clue.
Get a clue. So,
but like, no, he didn't get it. I think he's like a legit or something. There's like a big part of that is that he's like, we can't tell anybody, which sucked because Matt Brannigan was there. I wanted to hang out with Matt Brannigan.
Yeah, I
Me
wanted.
too.
Matt saw us walk in the building. He walked all through.
Yeah, afterwards I sent him a message on Twitter where I'm like, hey, sorry we didn't get to talk. I was busy running in as a masked pervert. He's like, oh, that was you guys? But I'm like, all right, fine. We won't fuck anybody but Petty. Make sure that security guard doesn't have like a weapon on him because he takes his job hella seriously. And I'm like, I'm not getting shot for you. I'm not getting tased for you. I'm not getting maced for you. Make sure he doesn't have any of that shit on him. I'm gonna be upset if I'm trying to beat up Mathis and I fucking get tased in my ass. Like, we're gonna have some fucking problems.
Oh man.
But
Yeah,
so he fucking like grabs Gaston and he's blowing the spot. And we get in there, we're doing whatever, and then he fucking like headlocks me from behind. And I like fucking stumble him back into the corner and I pull him in close. I'm like, that's fucking work, brother. Just get out the ring. We're workers. I'm like in his ear, like sexy I'm like, we're workers, brother. Just get out the ring. And I turn back around to do whatever, and he fucking like grabs me in the headlock again. And I have one leg, and I'm upset. And so I like turn around, and I'm about to fucking clock him. And then Gaston sees what's going on. He comes over, he starts kicking his ass, and I'm like hitting him too. Like, fucking just stop it. Just stop it. Just get out the ring. Get out the
He
fucking
never
ring.
touched me though. That's the he never touched me. Because he went after Gaston, so I slid right after Gaston. So I was the only one looking at Bruce.
And when he had me in the headlock, he like real stern, like he was like, "Get out of my ring," and I'm like, "We're workers." Fucking obviously, have you never watched wrestling in your life?
Oh my
So like
God.
after we like, he finally like gets a clue, and like he stops like coming after us, but now he's just like standing in the ring, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Get out of the ring!" And instead of just getting out the ring, he like walks to the other end of the ring to get out. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Because at this point, we've beaten up Mathis, who is the world champion, and we've beaten up Bruce, we've beaten up Nate, who are like
Very
beaten
big deal.
legends at this point. So we've like beaten them up, and they're like fucking the big deal, and they're selling, and this fucking security guard is just like walking around there like fucking do look fucking, and I start like kicking him. I'm like, get out of the ring. And finally, he starts to sell. He's like slumping down in the corner. And I'm like, no. I start kicking him. I'm like, get the fuck out of the ring. Why are you still in here? Fucking get out of the ring. Get out of the ring. And finally, he's out the ring, and we could go on with the fucking invasion. But I'm like, this is ridiculous. And now I'm upset.
Oh my
I'm
God.
upset.
But yeah, the rest. I feel like after that, the rest of the invasion went well.
No,
Yeah, no, because we had Ron. All we had to do was Ron Mathis. And guess what? Ron Mathis is a great fucking worker.
Right.
no.
We would have.
But what I didn't like was like we did the invasion angle, and then we go it was a couple weeks. We didn't do anything, and then we just got assigned to be Ari's bodyguards.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the invasion itself. Like the
Yeah,
day. Yeah.
that
That
well,
evening went well.
but the overall story of like us as a faction at XVW went from we got fired.
Yeah.
They don't heal from us.
We went from basically being these terrorists, right? Like,
We went-
for lack of a better term, we went
Yeah,
from being
we
like these.
like if we went with Gaston's original idea, it was very school shooter esque.
Yeah.
Like we legit looked like we were about to like commit a fucking school shooting.
My
I was like,
video is
maybe we
very
could
school
edit this
shooter.
differently.
The video is
Yeah, I
very.
was like, we got to edit this differently, Gaston.
Gaston.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I didn't like how it just went to the whole thing, and there's no like we didn't say we aligned with Ori or whatnot. It was just out of the blue. It's just like, oh, first thing
Yeah.
manager is hires us three
So
back.
Yeah.
the story behind it after the invasion was like, because they were like very hush hush about it, because they were like, oh, we're not gonna give those miscreants who ruined our main event any publicity. And I'm like,
Right.
all right, that's fine. We can work with that because I get that. And so that's when I shot the videos of us like explaining why we did it,
Yeah.
and he just never posted it. And this is like a big problem that I still have with him is I'll make these promos and I'll edit them. And I'll do all of these videos, and he'll like ask for promos and like, oh, we gotta promote the show, brother. And then
Yeah.
he just won't post our shit. And it's like, what are you doing? So like we had all of this stuff in the can ready to go, and then he just didn't post it until like the Monday before the show where we actually like came back to wrestle. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
we missed all of this opportunity to tell even more of this story. And then
Yeah.
at that point they were doing the Ari is like co-owner
Yeah.
thing. So like she brought us back. She had us she made contracts that brought us back, and that's why we couldn't get fired again. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine. At least I can I can work with that because it was the plan that he had changed at least 5 times. Like it got to the point where I asked Mathis, "Hey, what are we doing?" And he said, "I have no idea." And if Mathis doesn't know what's going on, then then you know that there's just no plan. Like he's just coming up with shit on the go. So that's why I was like, I basically put all of our shit together. And then when we started doing shit with Mathis, it was like me going to him with like, "Hey, what do you think of this and this and this?" And then Mathis being, fucking Ron Mathis is like, "We can do that, and we can also do this and this and this and this." I'm like, "Oh shit, that makes sense, and it makes everybody look good, and it's not stupid."
Right.
So it's a lot of why are we doing this? I don't know. Okay, then I will give us a reason for why this makes sense. Why are the Trashy Boys doing what we're doing? Well, because for no goddamn reason we got fired, and now we got brought back, and we're gonna take over XPW, and from there we did the Mathis feud, which I'm real happy with the Mathis and Bruce. I think that went very well.
I think so too. I wish our tag title stuff had ended a little differently. I mean, like, I didn't mind us losing it to Hard and Harry at all. I liked our match, but I wish that we had stuck more firmly to the Ron and Bruce stuff, and we would have lost it to like Bruce and Marie, or stuck to like the old. It's like the old Dayton / old Rockstar people. So then we lose it to like Nate Wings and Bruce, or something like that.
That was the whole. We attacked them, so it would just make sense for us to lose the belts to them.
Yeah, but for the most part, I thought things went great. I loved our tag match that we had with Ron and Bruce, where we initially won the tag titles, even though it was like kind of complicated. I really liked it.
It wasn't complicated. It was just by the time we locked up, the ref was us to take it home. Like, we haven't done anything.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of. Time.
It wasn't even that the final matches were complicated. It was like the original ideas behind them were complicated, and that was like a lot of the Mathis. How do we fix this to make sense? Because like the gauntlet, the idea of the gauntlet that we had against Mathis makes sense if it's like a traditional gauntlet that ended up happening. Like the actual gauntlet we had with them was fucking great. Like because it was simple. But like the original idea behind it was just so like we're burying Mathis basically. We're burying Mathis for like 10 minutes. Or we're burying ourselves because we don't just beat him.
Right.
So that was it was a really good experience to figure out like how do we do what the promoter wants, but like make it
ours
better,
Yeah.
I liked
make it make sense.
I like what we all agreed on when it was like I was the getting him like
softened up.
Because I got DQ'd like I know for a fact that my bros are gonna do more damage,
Right.
I'm like, I'm sick of this. I get DQ'd, and then Gaston basically is just like picking a body part for Saturn to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And like Juan going over you.
And then the day is saved by Bruce Gray coming back as Cruncher.
Which was fantastic because because you guys weren't able to be at the Phoenix show. At the show at the Phoenix. So I wrestled Bruce in a singles match, and then I got Bruce fired. So then their good friend, the Chillicothe Cruncher, came to give us a little payback.
All with the XPW, like the Tragedy Boys, like the invasion angle, I think
it went good.
I just didn't like the aftermath. I didn't like us being always goons. I didn't mind the title one.
I didn't like being the goons, but I liked the title run. I loved getting to work Ron and Bruce on a regular basis. I loved getting to do the trios match with Ron, Bruce, and Murray.
Well, Juan got too excited.
Yeah, that was so good.
messed up his own spot.
I don't. He's like, oh, these young boys blowing their spots. I guess I'll be the vet. Wait a minute, I'm the one that blew the spot.
Grabs Gaston and it's
Yeah.
like, do this
Yeah.
real quick.
But I thought all of that went super good. Saturn had the good blow off. I wish our tag blow off would have been a little better, but I'm not complaining too bad. I think it went all right. And now we're Percy and I have been on hiatus, and I'm planning to return next. Well, at the time of recording, this coming Tuesday night, I will be defending my AIWF World Television Championship against Avery Hertz in Dayton, Ohio at XVW. As well, at the time of recording, Saturn and Aaron have a number one contenders shot to possibly get a chance to get our tag team titles back. So, and I really hope that they do. Aaron has been a wonderful addition. Aaron has been wrestling for longer than any of us. He's been around the Dayton, Ohio scene. He trained at Rockstar Pro Wrestling as well. And he just nonchalantly throws names out there that he wrestled, like MJF and Aaron freaking Williams and Zachary Wentz. He's like, oh yeah, I wrestled them once, and doesn't think anything of it. And speaking of Aaron and Saturn will be challenging for the Hybrid Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championships on January 27th, where I will also be facing Jeffrey John. And Saturn, what else do you have coming up in the coming weeks? You and Percy both. What do you guys have coming booking wise in the coming weeks?
Let me look at my calendar.
I know me, on the other hand, January 20th, I'm wrestling in No Regrets Wrestling against Johnny CK in a tournament to crown a number one contendership. And then January 21st, I am at ICS in West Virginia wrestling Satu Jin in a round one match for.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that one.
Yeah.
And then I have to look at his name real quick, but on February 4th, I am at PWE Pro Wrestling Epic, and I'm wrestling. I have to see his picture real quick. I'm wrestling James Brady in a single. And that's my next 3 matches as of now.
Nice. And Saturn, you and I will both have HCW on the 27th.
Yep. At time of recording, so January 14th, this will air after that, but I'm wrestling in my hometown of BWA, which I got you guys on for their future show. I got you guys tag team title matches.
Yeah.
By the way. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I've got XVW coming up, teaming with Aaron. The 21st, I'm teaming with Aaron for Midwest Championship Wrestling out in Marion. Shouts out Dylan Cole. I'm sorry. He really wanted us to work for New Era, but we'd already agreed to Midwest.
Yeah.
So we might be out for New Era in February.
Cool.
And then 27th, Aaron and I are teaming at Hybrid for the Hybrid Tag Team titles.
Against Off Script.
28th, yes, Off Script. Beating them for the belts. They had a great run of 2 months and 0 defenses. It was a run for the ages, truly historical, but they're going to lose their belt. Those guy nerds. 28th, we might be at World's Finest. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. 29th,
Yeah.
I have Grindhouse for their Rumble. Last year, I made it to the final 2 before I got low blowed and thrown out. So this year, we're going all the way, baby. More XVW on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. Catch me in Dayton, teaming with Aaron. And then starting next month, I want to start off pro wrestling in South Tennessee. Got some cool stuff going on in February. Possibly Ascend.
Yeah.
Also
I need
debuting
to
for
talk to Tim
Victory.
about that.
Please do. Debuting for Victory Championship Wrestling in West Virginia. Again, trying to get you guys on. I know I talked to Gaston Aaron about it. And then hopefully, it's not confirmed, but your Paradigm is having a trios tournament.
Yeah.
You know, we have a trios win over Ron Mathis and Bruce Gray.
That's right.
And also
Who else?
I'm wrestling Tyler Vox tomorrow at BWA. Guess what? I'm gonna kick his ass and I'm in. So
Are you though?
I've beaten Tyler. Of course I am. Come on now. So I would have beaten Tyler, absolutely. And we've already beaten Ron Mathis and Bruce Gray.
That's right.
I'm
And John Murray.
And John Murray. That's true. So I'm thinking, hey, Paradigm, you know,
Come on.
we're a trio.
Come on.
They're a trio.
Come on.
That sounds like a good first round match to me.
It sounds like
Tragedy
a sexy match
Boys
to me.
versus-
I'm just saying.
Goddamn right. Tragedy Boys, White Trash Forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a trio right here.
Someone's gonna
Sitting right here. Yeah, whatever person said.
So, and then for me, once this airs, I will have faced Avery Hertz for the XVW or at XVW for the AIWF World Television Championship. I'm going to, of course, retain that title because I'm the best ever.
retain the match.
Also, after whenever this airs, after the time of recording, I will have faced Sam Knight at Destination 6 Pro Wrestling and made my Illinois debut. On January 27th, I have Hybrid Championship Wrestling where I'm going to beat Jeffrey John's ass. On January 28th, I have World's Finest Wrestling where I'm going to beat the crap out of Dion Freeman because of course I am. And then on January 29th, I have New South Wrestling in Lexington, Kentucky, where I will be making my debut against Colby Kane. At this time, before we close out the show, I'm going to play some of our promos for our upcoming matches, and then we will close out the show.
I am the walking calamity, Saturn Price.
I am the dream, Aaron Daniel Norman, and we are the Tragedy Boys. Last time, when we made our debut at Hybrid Championship Wrestling, the odds were already stacked against us. It was my first official night as a Tragedy Boy, and we were the first entrant into the gauntlet for the Tag Team Championships. But since then, Saturn and I, we've been traveling all over, getting better, getting more in sync, and we've been undefeated. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Off script, Kendall Fire, David Harris. You guys did fantastic. I will not take that away from you. We failed at the gauntlet, but you guys succeeded. Not just against one team, but multiple teams, and I commend you for that. Like Aaron said, since then we've only continued to improve. We have yet to be defeated since that gauntlet. Now, January 27th, we get another opportunity to show Hybrid who we are, who the Tragedy Boys are. We have another opportunity at the Hybrid Tag Team Championships. Now, I'm sorry. You guys had a great run of 2 months, but your time is up. We are building an army that's going to help Hybrid Championship Wrestling embrace tragedy.
John. On January 27th, we step into the ring in Terre Haute, Indiana at Hybrid Championship Wrestling. And you see, we both have very storied histories in Hybrid Championship Wrestling so far. You're one of the biggest guys. You're one of the guys who has main evented numerous times at HCW. But me, I'm undefeated in singles action, Jeffrey. I have defeated Kendall Fire, Dale Patricks,
Jason Levi, you name them. I've put everyone down that HCW has put before me, and now you are standing before me. You see, Jeffrey, this ancient book is storied, all of its history, all of its grandeur, and I have all the knowledge of it inside of my brain. And Jeffrey, you're a fantastic wrestler. You travel all over. You get the big matches. You're going to the UK in March. I understand that. I understand why some people might think you might mop the floor with me, but you see, Jeffrey, what you don't have is my brain. What you don't have is my capacity to win. And Jeffrey, when we step into the ring on January 27th, I have no doubt that it'll be match of the night. I have no doubt that we're going to kill each other. But at the end of the night, what will matter is the winner. You can have your 7-star matches. You can come out and you can have your memorable moments. You can do your dives off the top rope. But when we step into the ring, what's going to matter is who came out the winner. And it's going to be me, Mr. By the Book, Gaston LaRue. And when I win, it will be by the book. Dion Freeman, welcome to the LaRue Library, where I hold all of the knowledge of professional wrestling at my grasps. But today I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit to you, Dion. At the last World's Finest Wrestling show in October, you destroyed your opponent in quick and easy fashion. But I'm here to tell you that it's not going to be that easy when you step in the ring with Mr. By the Book, Gaston LaRue. And here's why. It's because you're going to be stepping into the ring with a man who is a 3-time heavyweight champion. You're going to step into the ring with a man who is the winner of the Hoosier Wrestling Alliance Match of the Year. You're going to step into the ring with a man, a walking embodiment of the ancient book of wrestling, the whole knowledge of professional wrestling inside and out, through all of history and all of time. And Dion, when I beat you, there's no reason to be sad, because there's nothing to be ashamed of, because you're going to lose 100% by the book.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us. This has been Gaston LaRue and the Tragedy Boys. I look forward to having my other Tragedy Boys on, but I hope that you learned something from us. You gained some knowledge of who we are and what we're about. I'm going to close out the show. Thank you guys for joining me. I look forward to having you guys on again. I look forward to having Aaron on especially. I wish he could have joined us this evening as we are recording. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope that you continue to do things 100% by the